Alright, so I lost my way and my life went down the tubes because of it. But after some introspection and seeing when my life was better and more successful, those revelations I had gave me a mission to make art every day. A part of that mission is to replace a long-neglected portfolio with a new body of work to hopefully reignite a long-dead illustration career. But I'm just sitting here reading an old comic book trying to remember why Puck was my favorite member of the Canadian superhero team Alpha Flight. I'm procrastinating, and I've got a lot of work to do. I just don't know what to draw today. Maybe it'll help if I do some brainstorming in my journal. Let's see. I'm going to start by writing down some styles and things that appeal to me, and that I like working in to potentially give the new portfolio some art direction. Retro, vintage, mid-century modern, cartoony, primitive, and even though I was doing a lot of design work that I didn't care about, it did give me a love for pairing images with text. That seems like a good place to start. And now I'm going to write down some things that I'm interested in for some subject matter. Skateboarding, surfing, film noir, pulp fiction, music. There's a bunch of stuff and I know there's a lot more, but this should be enough to jog something loose. And you know what? It did. I remember why Puck is my favorite member of Alpha Flight. He's a man of action with a beard for adventure.
And so am I.
Well, Puck it. I'm getting out of here. Ah, yes. The open road. The life of an artist can be solitary and sedentary, sometimes a challenge for an outside kid like myself. Going out to explore and collect experience should be a good place to find the answer to my question, what should I draw today? Welcome to the Portfolio Adventure Diaries. I'm here on the Oregon coast looking for waves, and I've been telling my daughter stories about a couple of her great-grandparents, two people who made the world a better place when they were in it. When I was younger, my grandparents lived in the great state of Hawaii. I think they became enamored with it when my grandfather was a GI serving in the Pacific Theater during World War II, and it's the place where they got married. They lived in Honolulu, just a short walk from Waikiki, and I loved spending time with them there on the beach and taking short drives down the Kalanianiole Highway to go snorkeling in Hanauma Bay. My grandparents blessed me with some invaluable experiences during those formative years that have stuck with me longer than poi sticks to your fingers, and I also became enamored with Hawaii. I really fell in love with the culture and the lifestyle. The local cuisine is out of this world. The people are absolutely amazing. Let's not forget Don Ho. And Hawaii is the place where I caught a bug. Surfing has been one of the great joys of my life, but unfortunately, today on the Oregon coast, there's none to be had. So we're gonna go eat. And as we were driving to our next location, an idea began to form. If you saw Make Art Every Day Part 2, you're probably familiar with my battle plan and daily action. You may remember that as long as I don't cheat on my non-negotiables, I can change the program on occasion. This is one of those times. I'm gonna ignore half of one of my tenants because I made a promise to my daughter, and two of my other tenants were overriding that half of the former. We're in Rockaway Beach, Oregon, at the home of the world's largest inedible corn dog, to taste the culinary history at the birthplace of the corn dog. Although the term corn dog didn't appear until it showed up in a 1969 newspaper article, it was invented 30 years earlier when George and Versa Boyington ran a fast food cart here in Rockaway Beach. As the story goes, it was a particularly rainy Labor Day weekend in 1939, and their hot dog buns got ruined. As George was throwing the soggy remains to the seagulls, an idea struck him to make a hot dog that comes in its own bun. He set to work coming up with a flour and cornmeal mixture that kept longer than buns, adding a stick for portability and something that could be made quickly in the fryer. And so, the Pronto Pup was born. The Boyingtons traded in their food cart for a brick and mortar in 1941, and we're here at Pronto Pup to check it out. I know I've said I don't want to eat fast food anymore, so I really suffered through a couple of these. Just kidding, I lied. They were delicious, especially in the recommended cheese sauce. Full of nitrates and grease, and surprised they didn't have a food coma, my idea was growing legs. Time for another surf check. Nothing. I did almost step on this thing that may or may not have gotten poked with a stick, and I lucked into a chance encounter with a skimboard at a thrift store. It was the same make and model as the first skimboard I bought in my youth. It took me weeks to save up for it back then, but this one cost less than one Pronto Pup. It's a beginner board, and that's fine, because it looks like I've been doing a lot of startovers these past few months. I don't think I've been on a skimboard for over 20 years, so it took me a minute to get reacquainted. But when I did, I was able to play surfing, doing slappies on these ankle biters. It was fun, and it was at that point that I knew exactly what to draw today. Here's the idea. I want to make a promo image for a fake hot dog stand at the beach. I want the style to be reminiscent of what you might see on a matchbook, a menu, or maybe an ad in the newspaper or travel brochure from the 1950s or 60s. The main figure is based on Kanaloa, the ancient Hawaiian god of the sea. He's often symbolized by the squid or the octopus. I'm not going for realism, so I just mashed those up into this thing without suckers so the illustration doesn't look too busy. Kanaloa's tiki mask looks different than the more generic one I've drawn here, and that surfboard shape is a bit more modern, but I'm mainly concerned with general visual cues to bring in those tourist dollars. I had a color scheme in mind that just wasn't working until I abandoned it for something more simple when I remembered that you don't have to play every note available to make a good song. To finish, I beat it up with stains, faux ink absorption, printing registration errors, and here's the promo image for my newest fake business venture, with 2 locations in Honolulu and at the Oregon coast. Feel free to give me a call to discuss franchise opportunities. I had no idea I was going to draw this today, and all from eating corn dogs and a failed attempt to go surfing. Which reminds me, I need to make an addendum to my battle plan. Be adventurous. Thanks for watching. My next video is going to be for the patrons. I'm going to be getting a little personal and pull back the curtain on why the Portfolio Adventure Diaries became an unintended spin-off of the Make Art Everyday series and the start of my climb out of hell. Until next time, take care and I hope to see you soon.